Ajnanatimrandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Gurave Korachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Sri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Niti Namine Vanchakalpatarobhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauravise Namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, thank you for watching. So we are continuing with the glorious teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is telling to Arjuna the secrets of life. So far we have spoken about the nature of our real identity. We are not this body, we are spirit souls. But we are in this material creation, not where we belong. We belong in the spiritual world. So we are moving from body to body, searching for happiness. But as long as we are searching for happiness for the senses, the mind and the senses, we are not pleasing the soul. The soul is inside our heart. It's like in a sleeping stage. In the last program I have discussed the soul is like a bird and this body is like a cage. So if we only polishing the cage, looking after the body, but not thinking of the soul, the bird is not getting any food. So we have to understand what kind of food does the soul needs. So we have spoken about the pure transcendental nature of the soul. We cannot change it. It's undivided, always with the soul. It's pure transcendental love for the Supreme Lord. This is the DNA of the soul. No matter if we want it or not, everybody is a servant, has a loving relationship with the Supreme Lord. But we have lost this relationship by ending up in this material creation. So by misidentifying ourselves, we are missing this. The soul is sleeping in this way. So how to wake up the soul? This is the point. Krishna is telling in chapter 4, verse 9, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo vati tattvataha Chaktva deham puna janma naiti mam eti so Arjuna. Krishna is telling to Arjuna, one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not upon leaving the body takes his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So this is very fundamental to understand who is the Supreme Lord, in which way he is acting. Especially if we want to have this pure transcendental love, we have to understand his transcendental nature, his beauty as well, and his beautiful activities. So there's many confusion in the world. Who is Bhagavan? Who is he? Has he a form? Does he not have a form? So in this way, many people speculate. Actually, the Bible says he has a form. In the Bible it's written, God created man after his own image. So there is not so much to speculate about this. Jesus said, I'm the Son of God. So if the Son has a form, then God must also have form. So even in the Quran, In the Quran it's also written, Inna laha kalaka min suratitihi. Inna laha kalaka min suratihi. Maybe I'm not pronouncing it right, but the meaning is Allah or Kuda has form, and from that form he has fashionated man. So also it's concluded in the Quran. So God has a form. Also the Vedic scriptures describe in a beautiful way his transcendental form. But because God, he has three aspects, there's many misconceptions about his transcendental nature. So the Vedas describe three aspects of worship of the Supreme Lord. One is Paramatma, inside our heart. So we have discussed the soul is inside our heart, but also the super soul, Paramatma, as a witness. He is witnessing our activities. How beautiful. The Lord is in the transcendental world, but also very, very close to us. So this is his partial expansion. So in this way, any problem we have, God knows even before we have it. So he knows us better than we think we know ourselves. So in this way, the best thing we can do in our life, directly understand God is watching me. He is present in me. He wants to guide me. That is the function of Paramatma. But for millions of life, we have neglecting Paramatma. The body is also compared as a tree. There are two birds in the tree. One is the Atma, one is Paramatma. So one bird is only looking how to taste the fruits of the tree, or how to enjoy the senses. And the other bird is only watching. And the auspicious moment is coming when the bird, who is so restless, sees the other bird. And in this way, then that moment, the Paramatma inside of us can be our guidance. So the moment we are thinking, oh God, please help me, then Paramatma, he can act as our guidance. Actually, this is the picture of the Bhagavad Gita. We see Arjuna is on the chariot together with Krishna. So actually, this chariot with the horses, this is our body. The horses are our senses. So only when we taking shelter of Paramatma in the heart as guidance, then our senses can be controlled. Krishna is controlling the horses by the ties. So, and Arjuna, he is taking Krishna as his guru. Please help me. I'm confused. What to do? What is wise? I don't know how to handle. This is the whole Bhagavad Gita. It's for us. It's our life. Our life is full of confusion, full of doubts. We don't know what to do. Shall I go left? Shall I go right? Is this the right thing to do or not? So the Bhagavad Gita is telling us, take your guidance of Krishna's. Take this advice of Bhagavad Gita is so important for our life to understand how to handle, how to walk on this path. And he will guide us to come out of this material creation, enter into our eternal abode, the spiritual abode. So this is our body. And the senses must be under the control of Paramatma. So we must take Paramatma in our heart as our guidance. Then we can understand where to go, what to do. So this is the function of Paramatma. But Paramatma, he is the Supreme Lord. And our pure nature is to have transcendental love. So God is the object of love. But we need somebody who is the abode of love. That are the liberated souls. So by Krishna's mercy, he is sending in this world Sri Guru. This we have discussed in the previous program. Under the guidance of a holy master, a spiritual master who has transcendental love in his heart developed. What we also have inside, but in our stage, it's the sleeping stage. So we can develop this transcendental love. And Krishna says, by understanding me And if we are understanding, if we have knowledge about God, this love will manifest automatically. And under the guidance of Guru, Paramatma will bring us, if we are sincere, bring us in association of liberated soul, Holy Master. And by his guidance, we can develop transcendental love in our heart to come out of this transcendental, or out of this material creation. So, some people are only focused on Paramatma in the heart, as this is the Supreme Lord. But there is another aspect of God. This is called Brahman, his impersonal aspect. So, many people in this material creation, they understand to come out of this cycle of birth and death, I have to renounce my material attachments. I have to give up material attachment. By giving up material attachment, I can enter into the spiritual realm. So they try to follow the path of Jnana Yoga. So Jnana Yoga leads us to liberation, mukti. But as long as we are not go beyond mukti, that means bhakti. Bhakti gives you a personal relationship with God. Then we can receive only the impersonal aspect of the Supreme Lord. It is called Brahman, the effulgence of his personal form. Because beyond mukti, there is the path of bhakti yoga. And bhakti yoga is connecting the soul, transcendental nature of love with the supreme object of love, Bhagavan, Sri Krishna. So this is the second aspect of God. So some people say, God, he is effulgence. There is only transcendental light. Because they think Jnana Yoga is the goal of life. Mukti is the goal of life, liberation. So if you stop your search for transcendental understanding by the path of mukti, Jnana Yoga, we can realize the impersonal aspect of God, Brahman. The soul is also transcendental. Bhagavan is transcendental. But we are eternal servants. This is the nature of the soul. So the soul is in a supreme position if he has his transcendental loving connection with the Supreme Lord. So that's why Jnana Yoga is not the end of the journey. No, there is beyond that, there is Bhakti Yoga. So by Bhakti Yoga, we can develop the final perfect position of the soul in his transcendental form. So the soul is not only spiritual, it has also a spiritual body, transcendental, eternal body. And this is the highest form of happiness, called prem. So in this way, the transcendental world is not only transcendental light, no, behind the light, the effulgence, the Brahman, is his personal abode, transcendental abode. So, and there is another division in the transcendental Vaikuntha world. There are two sections. One section of the spiritual world, there Bhagavan is worshipped in his Aishvarya form, as being the creator, the absolute truth, the highest, the personality of Godhead. This form is called Narayan. He has 4 arms, and all liberated souls, they are worshipping Narayan with so much love and affection, in the form of Dasyaras, as a servant. But the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, he is the taster of all rasas. So there are more relationships to taste. For example, a king is worshipped by all his citizens, by his ministers, with so much respect, because he is the king of the country, of the world. But when the king comes home and his wife is chastising him, why you are late, dinner is cold, you promised to become more early. So, or his children jumping on his lap, pulling him on his beard, so happy that father came home. So what is more tasty? The relationship of his wife that sometimes chastises him, of not being the king but her husband, and children jumping on his lap, not thinking, oh, he is the king. No, he is father. So not respecting him as the king. So this relationship is much more sweeter than outside the palace in the office. In this way, Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord, the creator of all creation, the source of all existence, is also tasting a relationship as having friends, having parents even. Although he is unborn, he is in the transcendental world, he has an abode. This is called Golok Vrindavan. There the Supreme Lord, for Leela pastimes, for tasting the sweetest relationships, he has taken the form of a cowherd boy. How beautiful. And this is the most sweetest relationship the soul can have with the Supreme Lord. Although he is Bhagavan, the greatest. He is Allah, the greatest. Nobody is greater than him. But he is also the sweetest. And one name of Bhagavan is Krishna. And this is his original form. That is the sweetest form of Bhagavan. Bhagavan has many forms. He manifests many forms. He's coming to this material creation to show his beautiful activities in many, many ways. But his most sweetest form is called Sri Krishna. So in this way, in the Golok Vrindavan, there the Supreme Lord, the source of all existence, he's taking the role of being a cowherd boy. So he has parents and all these beautiful pastimes. This is attracting the soul in his beautiful way. And this way we can develop a relationship with the Supreme Lord as a friend, under the guidance or as a beloved even, or as parental affection. In this way, under the guidance of a pure devotee, we can realize inside our heart, the soul is like a seed. Inside the seed, there is already our transcendental nature existing. Like in a seed of an apple, there's becoming a beautiful apple tree. It cannot become a mango tree because the seed is already has the nature there. So our soul is like a seed. Under the guidance of Guru, it starts to sprout. And following his instructions and guidance, we can realize, oh, my nature, my soul has this beautiful connection with the Lord, this beautiful relationship with the Lord. As a friend or as this, as that, we can have many kinds of relationships in the spiritual world. So in this way, we can understand the Supreme Lord, and if we are developing this transcendental pure relationship, this transcendental loving connection with the Lord, we can come out eternally out of the cycle of birth and death, entering the spiritual world, our eternal home. Go Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.